We look into another type of extreme diving that the DR has to offer, cave diving. The cave systems in the Dominican have been called some of the most beautiful in the world, and who better to be our guide than veteran cave explorer Uwe Rath. How many new caves have you personally explored and found here in the Dominican Republic?
I personally found 4 big cave systems. One of them is still today the biggest system in the Dominican Republic. We are talking about, in feet right now, more than 3,000 feet, 1,000 meters cave. Yeah. Cave diving is not so long popular here in the Dominican Republic. Actually, before we had no time to look for caves, and everybody was working with recreational divers. Yeah, nobody was looking for caves. Nobody was trained actually to look for caves. I can remember my first cave experience here 10 years ago. Somebody told me, "Oh, we have a nice cave. Let's look what we have in there." I wasn't even trained for this. And after this, I told my guy, "Hey, you can make cave diving. This is nothing for me."
On this dive, we team up not only with Uwe, but an old friend of ours, Jeff Bozanic. Jeff was both John and my cave instructor, and he's in the Dominican searching for new life forms in the dark recesses of the caves.
Actually, I don't like to see the Speedo.
Hey, you know what? Better you than me.
All right, Jeff, what is the dive plan?
Okay, where I found the animals before when we were diving here was on the passage that goes to the left side. So it's not in the shallow water. We actually have to be below the halocline in order to be able to where we can find the animals. The halocline's at about 47 to 48 feet. That's kind of somewhere in that band. Most of the animals that I'm finding are just below the halocline, like within 10 feet of the halocline surface. I'm going to be scanning with my light beam a lot, looking for animals. The animals that I'm looking for in particular look like little small centipedes. They're maybe a half an inch to an inch long and very skinny, no more than maybe an eighth of an inch, a millimeter or two across. I'm using little bottles like this. I can pull the top off, and I use them just like a squirt bottle, so I'll squeeze them out, and then when it opens up, it sucks water and hopefully the animal in.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Now,
so
do you
that's,
keep the marinara in a separate bottle?
you know, I actually wait and do the final preparation once we get to the kitchen after the dive.
I see.
But no, seriously.
Seriously.
There have been sightings of a large Yeti-like creature in these caves.
Yellow, I understand.
Well, have you heard these rumors?
I have. I've yet to sight it myself.
But you know,
But I've looked for many years.
After bouncing around in the back of the truck on the way to the dive site, I had a problem with my reboot. It wouldn't pass a negative pressure check. In other words, I had a leak in the loop somewhere. It wasn't something I could readily fix, so I had to call the dive. I'll sit it out while those guys go diving.
Cave diving, by its very nature, is inherently dangerous and should never be attempted without proper training and equipment. Although the water in this system is not very deep, the overhead environment, the possibility of silt-outs, getting lost or disoriented, and many other factors make this type of diving every bit as extreme as a 400-foot dive. One of the factors that cave divers need to address is the presence of haloclines. Haloclines exist when salt and fresh water come together in a cave system. When a diver passes through the halocline, the visual effect can be very disorienting. It makes everything look distorted and out of focus. That being said, cave diving is a very popular sport, with thousands of certified cavers safely exploring systems worldwide.
Myself and my partners have been looking for animals in underwater cave systems for 20 years now. The animals that we're finding are extremely interesting to science because they're very old animals that have been swimming on this planet far longer than mankind has been walking around, and in some cases from before the time of the dinosaurs. Myself and my partners, Dennis Williams, Gene Melton, Jill Yeager, have been exploring caves underwater, underground for 20 years now. And in that time, we've collected about 150 new species of animal. Doesn't make a difference where we go. Every time we go someplace new, we find new forms of life. It's kind of like the Star Trek mission, to boldly go where no person has gone before and to seek out new life forms, and that's what we do. Many marine organisms that were thought to have been of no benefit are being cultured now or harvested for antiviral capabilities, for antibacterial capabilities, for anti-cancer possibilities. These are things we can't predict. And until we know what is still living on our planet before mankind manages to wipe it off or make it go extinct, we aren't going to know what raw materials we have to work with to be able to solve those basic problems that we face as a species, that of good health and long life.
Uwe, what was it that really kind of made this whole dive special?
The special of this cave is actually the nice and beautiful decoration. Okay, well, and the big air pockets. Where you can listen to Richie's comments about the dinosaurs and all that stuff.
Well, I've looked, and I've looked, but I can't find John. 6 guys went in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 came out.
You were supposed to be keeping track of them. That was your job.
Yeah, he's your buddy. He's your partner.
You know, in these kinds of instances, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is I'm going to miss Jack. The good news is they got to change the name of the book to Shadow Diver. Well, it was an extreme dive, John. We got down all the way to the back of the cave, dropped down into the halocline. Once we were down there, you could see these little animals swimming around. I gotta tell you, it's quite humorous watching a big guy in a yellow wetsuit chasing these microscopic animals around. And man, they could swim, but they're being chased by a yellow yeti. But he caught some. When the saltwater and freshwater mix, I don't know if it's gonna come across on the camera, but it's very disorienting. As a matter of fact, sometimes you almost have to reach out to the cave wall because you feel like you're getting a spin. First time I've ever seen that. So, a lot of firsts today. I think climbing out of here is pretty extreme.